So welcome to this weekly update video, and I'll do my seasonal outlook video tomorrow, and we gotta get right to this. So my videos are only, I don't want these videos to be too long. So here we go. We have a tropical, we have Hurricane Julio, and it's still out there. It's at a high latitude. It's passing north of Hawaii as highly expected. And shortly after my last video, Mars became in much better agreement that Julio would pass well to the north of the Hawaiian Islands as it is, but it's maintained for the most part its intensity, though it's gradually weakening, and it's eventually forecast in a few days to become an extratropical system of rarity this generation. This is a very classic and this is a very classic Atlantic fisherman, okay? That kind of act like that, how it's curving out to sea, and eventually probably extratropical remnants are going to reach the west coast of the United States of America. Pretty interesting. I will note that extratropical transitions with Eastern Pacific tropical cyclones used to be much more common back in the 80s and 90s. But they're less common nowadays with the cold PDO and such. We have a warm PDO this year, at least temporarily, and it's allowing for these storms to exist at a little bit higher latitude than normal. In addition, over the last 100 years, probably due to some form of climate change, sea surface temperatures in this part of the world have increased. Right now, Julio's in a decent environment. It's over warm waters. Aside from sunshine, it's in a very moist environment. First has wind shear to work with. When you're a large system like Julio, you can fight off the wind shear. You can fend off the wind shear pretty better. And given the and especially since it's about to come up for a lot in a few days. So that could further complicate things. But now, in addition, we have two other systems to keep in mind. We have a new area of disturbed weather about 1,500, around 135 degrees west, so easily in the EDR. CMC shows it developing, which the CMC, they show it developing into a weak tropical storm. None of the other guidance models do make much of it. And pretty much all the ensembles are in good agreement that the system will not develop. However, JFS does recognize the system as a closed low, just never closes it off and develops it into a tropical cyclone. And I don't think it will. We've had a lot of systems this season that have kinda looked like they might form but didn't. We had 98E a few days ago. This is probably another one. It's probably designated as 98E, but I doubt it would do much. But it's still, I give it a, I mean, it has a chance to become an honor, but it's not the main story. The main story, at least in my opinion. The main story, in my opinion, aside from Julio, is invest 99E. That's located about, it's located like off the coast of Central America. It's starting to become better organized, and really looks like a good system. It's developing at a faster pace than I expected. I mean, currently, ANC is giving a 40% chance of developing within the next 2 days, and an 80% chance of developing within the next 5 days. Upper level environment, that's saying it's very good, it's very moist, and the sea surface temperatures are extremely warm, though there's some moderate wind shear that could limit development somewhat. But I think the shear, based on the appearance, the shear analyzed from the ships that's being shown in the ship's model has probably been over-analyzed and may not be digging down to the surface. Looks pretty impressive and it's pretty robust. So convection is swaying a little bit in the last few frames. And within another 24 to 48 hours, maybe sooner, you could see the system would be classified as a tropical cyclone. There's not a whole lot stopping it. Aside from some moderate wind shear, this forecast will slowly decrease and should not be a problem after day 3 to day 5. The system should rise It's very, very warm oceanic heat content. Very warm sea surface temperatures in there, but after they thaw, they could decline somewhat. It really depends on track, because track's a little bit trickier than normal. Because it depends. If the system develops Julio, I feel like I'm covering Atlantic storm by saying this, but if the system develops gets going really early, there's a good chance that the upper level winds could trough and come dig a little bit different, and it wouldn't have to dig as deep and just carry it away and out to sea. But if the system stays a little weaker, or stays closer to the ITCZ, then it's going to continue westward and pass that well south of Hawaiian Islands, like the 12 o'clock JFS suggestion. Now the 18 o'clock JFS brings the system very, very past it, actually directly over the Hawaiian Islands by about 13 days out as a weakening tropical system. I mean, it has a time of being a long-lived but fairly weak tropical storm, maybe a playful we become a weak hurricane, though I think that's underdone, as the LGM makes us a high in Category 1, while the ships makes us almost a major hurricane. The ships, LGM, are actually, while they are sometimes over-aggressive in the Atlantic, they're actually somewhat passive in the East Pacific. So I'd expect this system should become a hurricane. I'm not sure if it will become a major or not. But the sea surface temperatures could perhaps become an issue if, based on the 13 long JFS, they do show a trough in the general area just north of Hawaii, but they do not show future Carina being picked up by it. That I thought was pretty interesting. And probably a mistake. I expect the system will be strong enough, given the behavior of systems this season, to be affected by and picked up by a trough. Now, you're not sure the trough digging too far deep, so it's kind of tough to say. But nevertheless, it's going to be something we're going to have to watch pretty closely over the next several days. As the system continues on pretty much a westerly course for the most part. And there's some other long-term potential threats, and the JFS also develops really well in about 12 days. And once again, soon we'll have to start tracking storms much closer to the Mexican coast. Like right offshore the Mexican coast. And possibly do damage from there, because of getting frosting a little bit over, because of landfall time of year we get the west coast of Mexico effects are coming a little bit earlier than usual this time, because we have all these super typhoons that are bringing colder weather across the U.S., plus the northern half of the USA, and bringing some rain to the Pacific Northwest, and it's gradually lowering the jet stream. That could allow for troughs to dig somewhat deep and pick up a developing storm. X factor will be if the shear can quiet down, and it might be able to quiet down. If that's the case, we have this band of, if you look at the sea surface temperature graph, it looks like the West Pacific. With this big band of 30 to 33 degrees Celsius water that is extremely favorable for tropical cyclone genesis. And right, so it's always south of the Baja Peninsula. Systems should have no problem reaching the Baja Peninsula, even the central part of it, because there's very little wind shear. So we could see a system that survives further longer than we expect it to, and may make it somewhat close to the California coast, more close than what we would expect, because the wind shear is so low. I mean, the sea surface temperatures, they were very warm several days ago, but now you're starting to see some below average, or several weeks ago, but now you're starting to see some well below average sea surface temperatures, like forming several hundred miles west of the Mexican coast. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So we'll have to wait and see. That's still kind of in the law of the range. Right now, Lane IE is pretty much a big story. And yes, I do think we'll become yet another lawn tracker. Like, it's continuing the pattern of pure epicness we've seen all season long. The pattern has continued, and does not look like it's going to stop anytime soon. There's really nothing from stopping it from intensifying. Aside from some wind shear that early on, that's very typical of El Ninos, especially Medokis, though there's no guarantee we're going to get an El Nino. At this point, I think we still could. I think we still should. The CPHC brought down from an 80% to 65%, and that is what I agree with. I'd give a 65 to 70% chance that an El Nino will form by the time winter rolls around. And after winter, we'll take it from there. So that will wrap up this weekly update video, and I'll have another video tomorrow. Probably do, or even later tonight, probably releasing my August seasonal outlook. An early August update. And then we'll probably get some special updates videos, because EPAC is pretty much being extra special. This just makes sense. And we might even get a few rain videos in, because it is forecast to rain for the next 3 days. So we'll wait and see what happens. But right now, this is it for now, and I'm signing off. Bye-bye. Bye!